Okay, let's do this. Let's do that. You know, one of the things that I'm kind of pondering right now, because like I'm a bit late, I had to do stuff for a little bit. So yeah. But let me tell you something. What we are going to do is going to be not drawing, because surprise, surprise, I'm actually not going to have the thing running. Hi Cultural, get over here, how are you hoping has going? So the thing is that I'm going to have wait. Yeah, that. I need to copy this and paste that. Okay. Good, how are you? I'm doing good, I'm doing good. I'm just basically... so today it's... Today we are just making, you know, a stream where I'm going to write a lot, so... no drawing on stream. No drawing on stream. Blep grabs your tongue. Hi, Muto Gatevi here. How are you hoping it's going? And yeah, slightly, you know, slightly late, but I hope we good. Yeah. So. Not my tongue. Okay, so the thing is that we are going to sit down and write the scenario a bit properly. Unfortunately, last time I kind of half-assed it, and it's not looking good for me. And yeah, I think that this will be that. Okay, I guess I can delete this still. Yeah, everything down from here onwards. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. No, that's the wrong one. So the thing is, so what we are going to do, of course, I'm going to redo most of the stuff. Basically, I'm going to go down with, you know, the entire scenario, which is actually I'm going to talk a bit about how to properly make your stories. Something that I haven't really done in a long while, which is, you know, which is writing stream. I hope that we will find something good together and, you know, just hang out a little bit on that. So let me tell me, how was your day today? I'm out of things to drink, so I guess I'm going to sit here like a dry beach that I am. Yeah, nothing to drink. Okay. So, let me tell you how to write you know, a story in general. I believe that my method is very universal. You can depending on what you need, you can redo it into a lot of things, and I mean a lot of things, you know? I want to wake up today. Same. I just wanted to, you know, I just wanted to keep on sleeping, but I had to go to work. Too bad. And you know, we've started the vindication process, and the client that wasn't paying us for a good tad bit actually finally gave me a call, and they were like, yeah, can we have a meeting? There's like one thing with the invoice. Oh my. I hate it. Yeah. So, first step. we are going to make, so we are going to build up on the world, right? So we are going to build up on it. We want to have some kind of synopsis. Today, so I had to wake up. Hope they didn't cancel it. Did they? Or you're after already? And yeah, so basically we are doing one sentence description of the entire story. So like, they didn't, thankfully. Dear Lord, yeah, thankfully. Can't imagine. Oh my, so we are basically, on this step we want to just describe the entire story with one sentence. That's like about 13 words and that's it. So let's do it, because we are aiming on completing the entire synopsis, right? So we want to have an entire synopsis. Yeah, so one sentence description. Young boy works his way to the school of heroes, after which he departs on an adventure that will change his whole life. Kinda. That's that. So a young boy works his way to the School of Heroes, after which he departs on an adventure that will change his whole life. It's very vague description, but this is more or less what we want. We can actually go a bit better on that. A young boy departs to the School of Heroes, where he learns about his destiny, and so he departs on an adventure to go across to fight against fate. Oh, there you go. For example, right, a young boy departs a young boy departs to the School of Heroes, where he learns about his destiny, and so he departs on an adventure to fight against fate. So this is one sentence. It's working. It doesn't have to be as it doesn't have to be as specific to this story. What we want to do actually is leaving some room for us to expand on it, right? So for example, you can say a teenager along with his neighbor scientist managing to depart into the past, right? So, and we have Back to the Future. That's like one sentence that describes the entire movie, right? It works. And so that's the thing that we are using here. Hi Skylar, glad to have you here. How are you? Hoping has going. Hi. Today we are just chatting and I'm writing my writing things for my thing. For my comic book. 3. So now we are doing a 3-sentence description. So now we want to take that one sentence and you want to split it into 3. Here's why. Now we want to start making the details. Of course, we can't just figure out all the details right away, so it's easier for us to think of the start, the middle, and the end of the story. And this is exactly how it goes. Right, so this is what I'm going to try to go for right now. So Davis, a young boy that was sent on tortures by his clan, uses the accursed powers passed on to him by his father, and takes revenge on his clan, after which he worked his way to enter the School of Heroes. Here's the thing, I've used two of the same thing. I've used, once again, working his way to this, because it doesn't have to be like... It doesn't have to be described right now what exactly happened. We're going to do that later on. It's going to be like additional thing. Hi Shreya, Gatevi here, how are you? Hope right has going. Sup? Nothing much. Just chilling after work. Chilling after work, writing. Miss me, of course. And yeah, so basically we're now writing the story for my comic book. We're just basically kind of creating the entire world. The thing is, I didn't really do that. How are you doing? Doing great. Just kind of tired after work, you know? Just kind of tired after work. But still gotta do something, right? So I didn't really do much of the like world building and just general writing for the comic book. So the thing is that I'm going to kinda redo most of it. And let me tell you how it's going to look like. We are going to sit down and most likely try to write everything, and then I'm going to get to the drawing. We've already got the cover art for the comic book. I like it. I'm going to leave it. It's not like it's a big deal, right? But I'll need to change the contents. I've noticed that I am drawing differently now, again, and I'm just going to work on things a bit differently over time, so I guess this is it, you know? I guess this is it. So Dave is a young boy that was sent on tortures? Two tortures by his clan. Uses the cursed powers passed on to him by his father, and takes revenge on his clan, after which works his way to enter the School of Heroes. So yeah, that's a good description of the beginning, because it still leaves the information that there's something happening after he takes the revenge, so that's, you know, that's good. So you have the like the power start. We're kicking the doors down with that one. Davis finishes his Davis gets accepted to the School of Heroes as they rank as students, and so after completion of the school, he departs onto the adventure throughout the entire throughout the half of the Ypra. Ypra is the world, right? It's not Earth, it's Ypra, because the islands are called after the planets. So yeah, the throughout the half of the Ypra, along with Shaz, the descendant of Democles, who fought with Atlas. Maybe not with the name, but Davis's father many years ago. Okay. And now the ending statement, right? The ending word. as it was destined to them. In my second life, I was reincarnated as an E-rank Devis Moriarty. Oh no. Oh no. As it was destined to both Davis and Shaz, they stand on the... they stand on... Actually, I'm wondering about Shaz. Bobber, yeah. To be fair, I'm kind of wondering about the name Shaz. It kind of stayed for a long time. But I feel like Fafnir would be much better name for the character, you know? Fafnir, by the way, is a name of Loki. So basically, it was like mentioned differently, but basically, people from away from Scandinavia knew Loki as Fafnir. Because that's like, actually Loki was the false name given to him by Odin. The real name of Loki, because Loki used to be a giant, the ice giant, right? So basically the real name of Loki was Fafnir. And he had I think those are his kids, but there was also Fenrir. No, it was Fenrir's. Those were Fenrir's kids, but I believe Fenrir and Fafnir were like related to each other. So Fenrir was like a massive ice wolf, and basically it had two sons, Skoll and Hadi. And basically, so Odin, to ensure that Fenrir wouldn't go nuts, he sent Skoll and Hati to the sky, so they would always chase the sun and moon. And basically, if they would ever catch them, the Ragnarok would start, right? That would be like one of the steps of Ragnarok, basically. Another one would be that the entire hell would go loose. But yeah. Also, hell, right? Like hell, right? Like the devil's hell was actually, it comes actually from Nordic mythology, right? Because Vikings were invading a lot of areas. That includes Great Britain. So they've developed a word hell because that's actually the you know, Norse mythology hell, basically. It's just the underworld. So yeah, bread. They stand on the other end of the world, face to face, and duel for the life and death. Okay, makes sense. Hi, Alan, good to have you here. How are you? Hoping it's going. Alright. Dave is a young boy that was sent to tortures by his clan, uses the cursed powers passed on to him by his father and takes revenge on his clan, after which works his way to enter the School of Heroes. Davis gets accepted to the School of Heroes as a rank S student, and so after completion of the school, he departs onto adventure throughout the half of the Ypres along with Shaz, the son of Democles, fought with Davis's father many years ago. So the thing is that Shaz went the other way. So Davis went one way, Shaz went the other way, and where they meet is going to be like the second half of the world. Like it's supposed to be like the last the last island in the circle. And basically they should be fighting there because supposedly like that was the island where Atlas and Democles were fighting so many years ago. Basically. So we've got the 3-sentence description. We know like how the start, middle, more or less, and the beginning is working. Now here's the thing. Now we need to take those 3 sentences and expand them again. And we are developing something called synopsis. Synopsis is a detailed description of the entire story. So basically now we are giving names, even age. We are making like detailed details about the entire story and progression of it, and so on and so on and so on. Devis sent at the very young age to the tortures by his clan. By the clan of Moriarty for being a black flame user. Finally, under the influence of a bad spirit, uses the powers passed on to him by his father to release himself from the dungeon. Because there was like an underground dungeon made from like, you know, sand bricks and stuff. As Devis, young boy, maybe not young boy because he's not that young at that point, because Devis gets sent to the tortures when he was like about 7. He releases himself when he's 12, so like 5 years passed. He releases himself from the dungeon. He leaves his clan's village after he unleashes the devastating spell, obliterating his clan. Okay. His clan, and as he walks through the endless deserts of Jupiter, he passes away when a family of traveling merchants finds him and decide to help. Okay, so that's the thing. So now we know how it actually looks, right? So Devis is held for like about 5 years in the dungeon by the Moriarty's clan, which is his clan. Just because he was born with the ability to use black flames, which actually by many peoples from all around Ypres is actually like a sign of someone that brings death. And so after those 5 years, Devis is starting to like see some kind of like manifestation, some kind of a spirit, who keeps on like nagging him, come on, kill them, you have the power, you know, and like it goes on and on for like years, and finally Davis like surrenders to that being and uses the black flames to kill the entire clan. He leaves the village, right, the burning village, and he passes away from, like, he just passes away from the heat, right, because it's like it's supposed to be like the hottest day on Jupiter, which is like when all 7 suns are actually visible on the sky, so they are providing the highest heat that possible, so even Jupiterians are not capable to sustain with it. And a group of traveling merchants are finding him, taking care of him, helping him, right, mending his wounds and so on and so on. Davis wakes up to the wakes up in the city. As bandits that are faking their association to Moriarty's clan try to rob the merchant. Right, because like Moriarty's clan is supposed to be like actually the most dangerous clan in the entire Jupiter. Because they are like they were like bred warriors. If someone was too weak, they were just throwing them out of the clan, and they are just keeping on, you know, breeding just to be just to have the strongest warriors, basically. And that's why like they're the strongest nomad clan, because they never really settled down until later, and basically they were just walking around and, you know, destroying cities, villages all across the Jupiter, just because it was fun for them, right? So like the typical like sadistic clan of sadistic monsters that just want to like kill and destroy something for fun, if that makes sense. So Davis wakes up in the city as bandits that are faking the association to Moriarty's clan try to rob the merchant. Dave boy helps the savior, because, like, you know, right, merchant his savior, right? We know that it's his savior. Davis doesn't at that point. Helps his savior by scaring off the bandits. And couple weeks later of Davis helping the merchant, Old Man provides a letter of heroic deed to the boy, allowing him to enter the School of Heroes. So basically there's still like some kind of internal system. That's something that we'll also have to make. There are like internal systems. Each island is going to have its own rules, so laws are going to be different for each island, making it very tricky to comprehend what's legal and what's not. That's why, for example, Jupiter has a lot of like pirates and bandits, nomad clans that are not really going all and beyond, that are going all and beyond, because Jupiter, as a matter of fact, for a really long time was under the captivity of another island, and a lot of Jupiterians that were actually slaves. So after that, they've started breaking down those like some kind of camps. They've started creating clans of their own, and so it kind of started to form. Some clans were building up, like settled, started building up, creating villages, cities, right? And some clans just remained nomad, so they were just walking around, trying to find their place, or just hoping that they'll stumble upon other clans. Just mix and match. Everyone had their own kind of thing, because they were just free. And so just recently Jupiter started having its own like Caesar, right? Which started building up the actual like country, the actual country island of Jupiter, basically, from the grounds up, like making laws, bills, and stuff. So it's been just freshly made like society, basically, and so they can call themselves Jupiterians just recently, only because of that. And basically School of Heroes won't allow anyone, well, just because, so in the entire world everyone is capable to make to use magic, to use alchemy, right? Because alchemy is some kind of magic, so everyone can use it. Some are weaker, some are stronger, right? But and you kind of can, and you can kind of enter the School of Heroes, right? But you are still going to be assorted to certain like rank. And they are always trying to like sustain every single rank, so like anyone who actually got the ladder can actually join the School of Heroes, and that's it. They don't have to worry that they are going to be thrown out or anything, unless something or unless they'll break the school's rules, right? So basically, I was like thinking about it, like how you can make it available for a world where everyone has special powers. How to make someone special, right? And like, what's necessary for a hero? They must have special powers. Yeah, sure, everyone has them, but like not everyone is going to actually be capable to start acting to help someone. And that's where the heroic deeds were passed on. So everyone can, to enter the School of Heroes, people have to receive a letter of a heroic deed to enter the school, just because like without it they just won't really accept you, because they are not going to be sure if you are capable to actually be a hero or not. Because the hero is like someone who's going to just dive into the action head first, not caring that they are going to die, for example, because that's like more or less the rule, right? And those who are just going to sustain themselves for a longer period of time, maybe, are just going to turn out to be the strongest ones, for example. So that's that. So we've got the, like, more or less the entry, right? So that's like Davis's Jupiterian life. Now the sentence for Davis being accepted to the school. Davis enters the School of Heroes exam, where a Black Mirror measures his power. So basically Black Mirror is something that is actually capable to just reflect as a light someone's alchemical power. So the stronger light, the more powerful the person is. Everyone's surprise. As Devis walks up to the mirror, it starts to devour the light from the surrounding. So basically, it's like as if Davis's power is packed so tightly with negative energy that the Black Mirror literally, instead of like actually reflecting the light of the power, it starts to reflect the darkness of the power. Basically, right? Like it's more or less how it's supposed to, what it's supposed to mean. And imploding. After being assorted to the rank S, one of the lower ranked students demand a fight with Davis. So basically, during the assortment, if you know that you might defeat someone that's higher rank, you can actually challenge them still at the assortment ceremony and actually receive their rank. So basically, one of the lower ranks guys is just going to look at him like, that's stupid. His mirror didn't even shine. Like, what? He doesn't have alchemy, right? To reflect, or is he that weak? So he tries to actually challenge Davis, but gets beaten up like really like pretty badly, right? Because like at this point Davis is still like a wild beast, right? So like he was raised by bunch of bunch of like bandits, basically, right? Like Moriarty's clan wasn't necessarily acting like normal humans. They were acting more like monsters or like wild beasts. They were just like walking around the desert, making a lot of noise, attacking whatever was moving, and so on and so on, right? Like they were doing like hunts on other clans, basically. So and Davis was then closed for like 5 years in darkness, and he was like, you know, like an animal that just got, you know, that was just released or something. So he still has those like animalistic behaviors, more or less, right? Yeah. During the school, Davis moves on through the program and finds out from the headmaster that his father, Atlas, possibly created him out of pure alchemy. What unsettles Davis's existence. So like Davis has like existential crisis because like he just at this point he just doesn't know who or what he is, right? And so basically because like the headmaster used to be the same team as Atlas and Democles, right? So he knows that Atlas never really had offspring. Like he knows that. but he also knows that Atlas was experimenting with things, and he finds out that some of the notes that Atlas left, which was about creating beings out of alchemy, could actually be used to create Devis. That's why Devis can tap into black flame nearly from the time he was born, because Atlas used his alchemy to create Devis, basically. So that's why, like, so just because Atlas was like a black flame user, he passed on this thing onto Devis, because the actual like alchemical like evolutions like that are unable to be passed on to someone. So that kind of, like, you know, solves the thing. Headmaster, having no other choice, shares the foretold destiny of Devis and Shaz. So basically, like, Atlas, when he was fighting with Democles, he kind of found out that he kind of finds out that you know, so both Devis and Shaz are finding out that actually they're just destined to fight for life and death on the other side of the planet. So, like, that's the thing. Is the first genetically modified baby, kinda. Kinda. So basically, Atlas finds. You can kind of say that Devis is some kind of a homunculus, basically, because Atlas uses his alchemy and Moriarty's alchemy to create Devis, but it needed several years for the alchemy to just materialize. So Devis literally just spawned into existence. If that makes sense. So yeah. At the end of the School of Heroes, Devis and Shaz, who they promise, put down the same promise that Atlas and the Democles once made, and departed in their directions to meet on the other side of Ypres. So yeah, basically Atlas and Democles had like a huge argument, and they've made a promise that either that they meet at this specific island, and either they actually arrive and fight there for the life or death, or one of the sides will never come because they just found peace at their they just found inner peace after this argument, right? So like they just kind of settled, and that will mean that that will mean that the duel will never happen, basically. Right, of course, Atlas and Democles managed to arrive on the other side, and they fought for their life and death, and that was it. But you know, I'm just telling like very vague descriptions of those things. You might think that it's very detailed, but it's very vague because there are much more. There's just much more to the story. But I guess you'll know. And now the end, right? Or rather the kind of like the other stage. Before, wait. But before Davis departs, Aiko, boy's classmate, joins him. Mate decides to join him on his way. Okay, so basically, there were 3 heroes of rank S, right? Davis, Shaz, and Aiko. I haven't mentioned Aiko here because she's actually more important throughout the other side. Like Davis's school life is kind of like he kind of sees her every now and then. She still talks with him. She's like the kind one, right? The kind friend that just Davis meets. But they, just Davis never really paid attention to her. But she, at the end of the school, she comes up to him and asks him if she can actually go with him on his adventure. Right? So basically, Shaz departs on his own. Davis and Aiko departs on the other side together. Davis and Aiko. Set foot on various islands that actually I've once like described the entire story to my friend, and he said that it's literally My Hero Academia meeting One Piece, and I really hated the description. Davis and Aiko set foot on various islands that a has to offer. Struggling with various foes and getting closer together. Finally moving Davis's heart. So basically, like Davis was like blindly set on this thing. He was kind of pushed away because clan of Moriarty was like his it's like the thing is like Davis just kind of like locked himself away from the society after Moriarty's clan like betrayed him. They were like family to him, and without even blinking an eye, they decided to bring tortures onto him without care. That like hurted Davis and like put a scar on his mentality. But throughout the adventure, Aiko is managing to finally like crack that shell that Davis created around himself. And over here I want to make like a love portion of the story, because like Davis and Aiko actually I want Davis and Aiko to get together. Struggling with various foes, meeting various friends, and getting closer together, and finally moving Davis's heart. Aiko, Davis, through a connection with a met Highlander merchant, manages to translate Atlas's scripts finding out the spell that supposedly transformed Atlas into a beast. And so leaving Aiko in his father's mansion. So because like basically Atlas settled like just really quickly went through all of those islands because like the threat wasn't really that high. He actually kind of like gathered followers. They were treating him like a god because like when Atlas and Democles thing happened, Ypra wasn't like overfilled with people capable to use alchemy. It just kind of like it was like a long process of evolution, right? That people started developing this possibility to use alchemy. In his father's mansion, departs to the last island alone. Okay. Where he meets 4 of his closest allies, ready to join him in the fight. As Davis's allies die, Headmaster provides Aiko with a spell scroll, allowing her to teleport to the place of the battle, hoping she'll manage to stop them. But Shaz shoots Aiko, killing her in the process. Davis uses the Atlas spell and transforms into a god. So basically, there are like various forms. So alchemist is like just a normal, like everyday Joe, right? Then you have godly alchemists. Those are like alchemists that are capable to create words, basically. Because like the spells are called words. So like godly alchemists actually can tap deeper into the alchemy, use much powerful spells and create their own, and also enter into a state called alchemical overdrive. The spell that Atlas used was actually allowing him to merge with alchemy, going beyond alchemical overdrive, which actually mutated his body. And that's the beast that like, you know, everyone was talking about. The beast, those beasts are called gods because like and I say beasts because actually they don't have any kind of like any kind of actual humanity in them. They are just going wild instinct and like kind of alchemy order, because alchemy is actually like transcendent being, basically, right? Into a gun. Against which Atlas oh my. Ah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my god. Hi, Incineroar. Glad to be here. How are you? Hope how's going? This is the first time to see you around, so hope you find the comfy corner here. Oh my. So sorry that I'm not drawing today, actually. I'm actually in the middle of writing stuff for my manga. So much, you know, huge thanks for the cheers. Thank you, thank you. It really means a lot. No problem, lol. So yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we are now ending the thing. So Atlas Headmaster and Shaz are standing ahead of Davis until he'll get back to his normal state. And so Davis transcends unlocking possibility, unlocking white flame. If I may ask, what's the mango part? Apart. Oh my, mango apart. Oh my, oh my. Oh my. Oh, well, it's okay. I think I know what you're talking about. So my manga is actually about the story of my Vtuber model, because I've basically took the main hero of my manga and used him as my Vtuber avatar. I've been working on the story for like several years now, actually, but I've never really put down anything into coherent writing. So it's finally time to catch up and start writing things. It's just, you know, using one sentence description that actually we wrote earlier. A young boy departs to the school of heroes where he learns about his destiny, and so he departs on an adventure to fight against fate. But he still ends up doing as fate foretold, basically. So, you know, but yeah. So, you know, the entire world is just filled with wizards that are called alchemists. They don't use mana, they use alchemy, which is kind of like mana, actually. And yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, kind of like action, adventure, shonen, I guess. But I kind of want to make it seinen. I kind of want to make it seinen, but actually, you know, shonens you still get like cut off limbs and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. It's just very specific. I know that, for example, Berserk is seinen, so that one's a bit, yeah, it sets things apart. Like, for example, where's Berserk and where's My Hero Academia, right? Like seinen to shonen. Oh my, but yeah. So yeah, actually, to be fair, I'm going to read the synopsis of the entire story. Can we add quote, I'm not saying I'm a genius, but the microwave does call me chafe? Oh my. Oh my, oh my. I don't know. Oh gee. Wait, your microwave actually call you chief? Chef? Unbelievable. Mine only does toot. Mine shocks because my cable is broken. Oh no! Oh no! kind of is it that I was about to say? Oh my, so wait, if you microwave a glass of water, does that make it an energy drink? Yep, Luma. Hmm. Oh, now I'm approaching their humor territory. Territory. Oh my. So, okay, I finished the synopsis. Let's read it. Davis sent at the very young age to torture by the clan of Moriarty for being a black flame user, finally under the influence of a bad spirit. This is the powers passed on to him by his father to release himself from the dungeon. What did the terrorist say to his kid while eating? Here comes the airplane. Here's the second one. Oh no! Oh no. God damn it. Oh gee. He leaves his clan's village after he unleashes the devastating spell obliterating his clan, and as he walks through the endless deserts of Jupiter, he passes away when a family of traveling merchants finds him and decides to help. Davis wakes up in the city as bandits that are faking their association with Moriarty's clan try to rob the merchant. Boy helps his savior by scaring off the bandits, and a couple weeks later of Davis helping the merchant, Old Man provides a letter of heroic deed to the boy, allowing him to enter the School of Heroes. Davis enters the School of Heroes exam, where a black mirror measures his power. To everyone's surprise, as Davis walks up to the mirror, it starts to devour the light from the surrounding and imploding. After being assorted to the rank S, one of the lower rank students demand a fight with Davis. During the school, Davis moves on through the program and finds out from the headmaster that his father Atlas possibly created him out of pure alchemy, which unsettles Davis's existence. The headmaster, having no other choice, shares the foretold destiny of Davis and Shaz. At the end of the School of Heroes, Davis and Shaz put down the same promise that Atlas and Damocles once made and departed in their directions to meet on the other side of Ypres. But before Davis departs, Aiko, the boy's classmate, decides to join him on his way. Davis and Aiko set foot on various islands that Ypres has to offer, struggling with various foes, meeting various friends, and getting closer together, finally moving Davis's heart. Davis, through a connection with a Highlander merchant, manages to translate Atlas' scripts, finding out the spell that supposedly transformed Atlas into a beast, and so leaving Aiko in his father's mansion, departs to the last island alone, where he meets 4 of his closest allies, ready to join him in the fight. As Davis's allies die, Headmaster provides Aiko with a spell scroll, allowing her to teleport to the place of the battle, hoping she'll manage to stop them. But Shaz shoots Aiko, killing her in the process. Davis uses the Atlas spell and transfers into a god, against which Atlas, Headmaster, and Shaz are standing ahead of Davis until he will get back to his normal state, and Davis transcends, unlocking White Flame, which allows him to remodel the world. So, but yeah, that makes sense. So basically, about the remodeling the world, so Atlas always thrived. So the only alchemy element that allows for evolutions like that is fire, right? So that's why there are different colors of fire. There's gold, red, brown, green, blue, black, and eighth one, white. So white flame supposed to be like some kind of a legend, saying that there was once a person who actually had the power to use white flame, and he used his power by creating a word allowing everyone to that like allowed him to remodel the world, and he started and he actually started started this thing that people were getting born with the like association to the alchemy, right? So that there like one guy who just happened like was born as a first alchemist ever, was the only user of white flames, and he basically allowed like kind of sacrificed himself in some kind of way, allowing everyone around the Ypres to actually also use the same power as him. And Davis basically, and Atlas basically was kind of trying to thrive through it, so he unlocked like every single evolution of fire. So like he was unlocking like gold, red, and so on and so on, finally unlocking black flame, and having like all the evolutions. He was still trying to achieve that evolution. That's why he was testing so much with the alchemy, and that's how he managed to actually learn that he's capable to create human beings out of alchemy, right? Out of pure alchemy, basically. So, he of course he never really achieved that, but he hoped that if he's going to create a being out of pure alchemy, it's going to have much better chance to actually evolve into the user of white flame. Yeah, so that's that. And so Davis actually uses the same spell that supposedly first alchemist used, right? And just remodels the world. That I'm going to add a little bit into that ending, but I'm not going to really say now into what. I want to give it like an aftermath after that entire battle, after Davis, uses that spell, right? So like showing how the world changed on like influence of Davis's spell, basically. And that looks good. So we've got 9 sentences, 9 sentence synopsis. That's cool, really good. Now, what we can do, at this point, I would usually sit down, create an Excel file, and just start writing characters, just building the, just building the characters' profiles and some kind of that. Only main heroes for now, so like Davis, Shaz, and Aiko, and then just giving them like, different connections. So at this point I would just usually sit down and try to make connections to the like trying to plan out characters, make connections with them, and so on. And I think I could use that. I'm not sure though. You think we actually should? I was actually thinking about making it probably probably a I was actually thinking about making probably a split into arcs, because now we can also split things into arcs. So you know how One Piece is split, right? I actually wait. Let me pull that thing up, because that'll make more sense. So you have sagas, right? So now we have an entire story and we know how it's supposed to go. So now we can create sagas, right? So we have Sea of Survival, Super Rookie Saga, right? And then the final Sea, the New World Saga. To be fair, having 2 sagas, it didn't really make any sense for me, but okay. I've always, like, you have Frieza Saga, Cell Saga, and Majin Buu Saga in Dragon Ball, and that was always having much more to it. And like, you know, Frieza Saga, or rather Namek Saga actually, had the Saiyan Saga, it had the training, well, it had the Saiyan arc, it had training arc, it had Namek arc, and it had Frieza arc, right? So it had like several different arcs, allowing for people to like move around it, right? I guess you can say that it's been Earth arc and Namek arc, and then Earth arc was split into Cyan sub arc and Science sub arc and Training sub arc, and then we've had the Namek arc, which was split into also its own sub arc and so on. But I don't really like that kind of thing. But for example, One Piece is also made like this. So you have East Blue arc, and it has Romance Dawn, Orange Town, Syrup Village, Barati, Arlong Park, Lodge Town, Buggy's Crew Adventure Chronicles, right? Like all of those like segments in the arc have like you know, a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. It's like, you know, Super Rookie Saga, but then it's East Blue Saga too, right? So it's like Saga and Saga. Then you have Arc and Arc. So it's like, whatever. Like, what gives at this point? I've always hated the naming in story writing because it never really made much sense for me. But yeah. So, okay, I guess. Okay, let's actually split the story into arcs. I guess that makes sense. After we are going to know the sagas and arcs, I guess that will make more sense. So we have that entire story, right? The thing is, it would be also very difficult because I would now split the entire synopsis into one sentence descriptions for each saga. So like now as I have that synopsis, there would be Davis's Freedom saga, and it would just be like Davis frees himself from tortures of his clan and provides support to the merchant who found him in the middle of the desert. And that's it, right? And then we are just going to split it. So you are going to have the we are going to have also arcs, right? So we are going to have Davis's escape arc. We are going to have Davis's Life on Jupiter arc and Goodbye Jupiter arc or something like that. And so we are going to have that one sentence word for this arc and so on. But I prefer to first write down the names of the sagas and then split the story properly into the thing. So that's that. So Davis's escape saga. School of Heroes saga. Oh no, Carrion found the trend. What do you mean? School of Heroes saga. Gaia saga. So like, yeah, each thing is going to have its own saga. So even though School of Heroes is on Gaia, Davis still departs from School of Heroes and walks around Gaia still doing things. It's just going to be like very short one. I guess I don't even have to make it a saga. Jupiter saga. Shoot, wait. Let me check this again. Milky Way. Planets. I could never remember. Wait, solar system. Fuck. Okay. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So, wait, we have Mercury, Venus, Gaia, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Okay, so we've got a bit now, some kind of, you know, thing to look into it. So I was making this some kind of like graph for it. So we have Gaia. On one side of Gaia there's Jupiter, and on another side is Mars. After Jupiter there should be Venus? Yes. Because a massive jungle. After Mars there should be Mercury. So it's like Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Mercury, right? Like we are splitting it this way. And then we have Saturn and Uranus. And Neptune is the endless waters, basically. And on like somewhere on Neptune, like sure you have like underwater races and stuff, like so like actually kind of like humans, right? But they are living underwater. But on top of that, there should be that island where Davis and when Davis and Shaz are going to fight on. So that's the thing. So we have Jupiter saga, Venus saga, Saturn saga. Church. Should it be called Church of Atlas? I don't want to call it church, but I guess. Godly battle. Battle of Gods, maybe? Gods saga. Yeah. That's that. So, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice! 7, actually 7. That's really cool. It's kinda like One Piece has like One Piece is 7, sagas is and seventh saga is Fishman Island, so that's also like nearly at the end. But I think I could drop it a little bit. I'm wondering about the Church of Atlas because to make it 6. Yeah, and Church of Atlas is going to be somewhere else. That's it. Yeah. Of course, there are going to be like subsidiary things. So like, there's going to be like Luna arc, for example, because you know, also like moons and other stars are also set up. Yeah. I learned something today. What's up? What did you learn? That Luna is a scientific word for moon? In Karen profile picture, they're not wearing a crown. Huh? How did you learn that? Oh. Oh my. Oh my god. I studied as a crown. Huh. I see, I see. So Davis, after escaping the tortures brought upon him by his clan, he runs into the desert where a kind merchant family helps him. Helps him and sends him to school of heroes. Davis ranked as a hero of rank S, learns about his pure being and pure being, about his being and destiny. Placing the same oath that his father did against his enemy. If Davis is a homunculus, does he possess the ability to procreate? In the other fiction works, they are usually cursed to be infertile. Yes, Davis do. Yeah, Davis has a chance. That might be a bit of a spoiler, but actually, in like the second, like this is the first kind of the first like series I want to do. There are going to be continuations of it. So in the second part of it, actually we have the we see the events of his daughter, basically. So Davis in the end actually manages to have a daughter. That his father did against his enemy. against his old friend ago, and departs with a girl named Ike. Back on the Jupiter, Davis notices that the new Caesar is not doing well. Ruling the island, and sees how the island fell apart even further under his absence. There you go. So yeah, basically, you know, after some time, of course they had to exchange the Caesar. So the Caesar is a young boy, about like 8-9 years old, freshly cooked Caesar, after his father's death, and he just have no idea how to rule a country, and only like the advisor like tells him what would be appropriate to do, right? Venus Saga, Davis finds a city called elf city of Bastion, from which he gets banished from after standing up to the king's decisions, and finds his route at the dwarf city, from which he departs further. Saturn Saga. To be fair, I've never. Saturn Saga was a saga that I've always had like. It was like a blur for me, you know? It was always like a blur for me because I know more or less what happens. Davis finds a code of Atlas, which directs him to his mansion, unaware of Davis's origin. Right, so then they have no idea that Davis is son of Atlas, right? But they are like the cult is like actually like praying to Atlas and stuff. There Davis finds finds so Davis stumbles on a cult of Atlas, which directs him to his mansion, unaware of Davis' origin. There Davis finds Atlas's scripts and written notes, which he passes on to his onto his befriended Highlander merchant, who translates these scriptures to him. So basically Davis needs the translations because actually Davis because Atlas is using Old Jupiterian. Atlas actually comes from Jupiter himself. He was one of the early slaves on the island, along with Moriarty. Those two are actually in the same camp. That's why they, Atlas managed to get Moriarty's alchemy, to create Davis basically. And and maybe let's expand the Saturn a bit. Davis arrives at the Saturn, seeing barren lands. He figures out. He notices that the island is split into two camps. After resolving issues on one side, he embarks on the other side, where he stumbles on a code of Atlas. Okay. Battle of Gods. Davis arrives at the destined island where three, not four, I think I wrote four. Three of his closest allies lend him their weapons for the fight against Chaz, but he manages to dispatch them quickly, leaving the matter between him and Davis. As Aiko teleports in the middle of the battleground, Shaz shoots, because Shaz is one alchemist of ice, basically, so he can control ice, and a spiritualist. So he's turning two ghosts that were left to him by his father, Democles, as the weapons, a sword and a gun, Ophelia and Annabelle. As Aiko teleports in the middle of the battleground, Shaz shoots her. What leads to her death, and Davis using the Atlas's transforming spell. There you go. Okay, so we have, we are just going to have some arcs, right? But each, now we kind of rewrite everything, splitting everything into words for each, like merging everything and splitting things into each saga. Now what we would want, sorry, I have weird hiccups. So now what we would want to do would be actually taking each one of those words and turning them into arcs, right? Or rather expanding them into 3 sentences now, and then turning them into arcs, because that's like, we are going to have start, middle, and end of the story, and it'll be easier for us to deduce how many arcs we actually need, right? So like that's the entire saga. We know how the entire saga is going to go, and so on. So we are just going from the general idea to details, to detailed description. Yeah. But I've tried writing a while back. Dialogue is the hardest. That depends. If you actually spend some time on managing the behavior of the characters and how they are going to talk to each other and stuff, so like what are their relations, etc., you can actually make really good You can actually make really good dialogues really quickly because, oh, that person likes them, but that person doesn't like them. So he's going to talk to that guy like as if he would talk to a buddy. Meanwhile, the other guy is going to be very prickly, very pesky towards that guy. So he's going to be very ironic. He's going to like throw insults and so on and so on. And you know, you can just figure out how how the dialogues between those two characters would be. It's mostly just like figuring out how they're supposed to act between one another. So yeah, by the way, I'm doing it a bit differently. It's not like typical writing you would do. Actually, the writing you would do for books would be a bit different because at this point I would develop main scenes. Well, I would, based on synopsis, I would make the split on chapters, and then split those chapters into you know, expand those chapters and then make scenes. So each chapter would have like main scenes to go around, and then there would be like stitching scenes, so like sub scenes and bridging scenes, right? And then maybe a scene that would bridge two chapters together. But yeah, we've done a lot actually. We've done a lot considering the writing. But yeah, I think I'm going to deep now. It was really nice, you know, just talking stream. I hope you've had fun on this writing stream. And well, finally learning a bit more about the story, right? Finally learning a bit more about the story that Davis had. So yeah. But folks, I know that it's yet again shorter stream, hour and 37 minutes, kind of 38, so we are almost at the 2 hour mark. But I don't have anything to drink and I can feel my throat hurting, so I actually feel like I need to stop. And I guess it's good to take breaks because also that like writing requires you to take breaks because you can also have like the same kind of like focus that you use as if using for the drawing. We use that for everything, for everyday basis. So that's that. And thanks Muto, Huion, and Incineroar for being active in chat on Twitch. Also Incineroar, so many thanks actually for the cheers you gave us, and thank you for observing. Welcome to the family. Hope you will really find a comfy corner in here. And YouTube, Keltro, Skylar, Shreya, and Unknown Person, thank you so much for being active on YouTube. Meanwhile, folks, stay creative, and I hope to see you all in the next one.